try it if it feels right. This feels nice. I'll try it if it feels right. This feels nice. I went through hell and back just for you. Now would you do the same just for me? All I ever did was give you loyalty. All I asked for you was do the same for me.
I'm here to stay.
As we can see, some of these NBA stars are just left in bad situations. Some of them can be fixed, maybe via trade, and some are just stuck like there's nothing they can do. Real quick, all of my OGs, make sure y'all drop that like button, turn on those post notifications. All my newbies, if you're new to this channel, hit that sub button and join. You'll thank me later, so just join right now. Now, since we already went there with them in the intro, let's just start with them. Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook is on one of the worst streaks in NBA history. This is like his 6th All-Star that he's lost, and it's really starting to make him look even worse than it did before. I'm not even going to ride the hype and make it seem like it's all Russell's fault, because you want to know another big reason stars keep leaving Oklahoma City? It's in Oklahoma City. No disrespect to that place. I've been there before, so I'm not just talking. When I was in North Texas, I've been there. But no star with millions of dollars wants to be there for the longevity of their prime. One, it's not like it's a serious winning culture there, and even if it was, that doesn't even matter nowadays. The Spurs have like the winningest culture of the last 2 decades, yet when's the last time you heard of a star picking San Antonio? I mean, I guess you can say LaMarcus Aldridge, but he did grow up in Texas. He played middle school, high school, college, all that in Texas, so he's an exception. But other than that, you don't really hear superstars picking San Antonio. They usually draft their stars. So for Russell, it's not all his fault why people keep leaving Oklahoma City. Now, his situation can be fixed if he go to Miami. I've been hearing that, but other than that, I don't know what's next for him at 31 years old this year. Next, y'all remember that Love dude that used to play with LeBron? He used to be like a hawk 6 years ago with all these rebounds and crazy stats. What the hell ever happened to him? I swear if I was just coming back from like a year-long break from life and I didn't see anything, I would have thought Kevin Love retired or something, because he's on vacations, he's living his life, he's tweeting about NBA players like he's on ESPN. It doesn't even seem like he's an NBA player anymore. Anyways, after being the last one to join the Big Three in 2014, he's also unfortunately the last to leave. He's about to be 31 years old this year, and he's a part of a historically bad franchise on a rebuild. Like, what the hell? Now, there has been reports about him being traded to maybe Golden State. That makes a lot of sense, and I'll touch on that a little bit later. But to me, that's the only thing that makes real sense at this exact point of his career, so I hope he can get there. For some reason, it feels like when LeBron left him, so did the rest of the NBA. Like, when's the last time you heard Kevin Love in a real basketball sentence? Exactly. Now next, Chris Paul. I know it's funny to make fun of Chris Paul because he's little, he's delusional at times, he's on the back end of his career, and he seems like a little bit of a laughingstock, but if you really look at the James Harden beef, Chris Paul is 100% right. He's a point guard, one of the best of all time, mind you, and he's playing with a player that just almost broke Russell Westbrook's record for the highest usage rate in a season. What is he supposed to do with that? Like, we can all laugh at Chris Paul and say, oh, nobody wants you, you're crying and all this stuff, but his argument is a legit claim. Russell Westbrook, when he was hogging the ball in 2016, although it probably wasn't right, we all understood it because he had just lost KD, so he had a point to prove. James Harden's usage rate was just number 1, 7 points above anybody else, while Chris Paul's usage rate was like at 57th, down there with Dennis Schroeder, Jabari Parker, and Marvin Bagley, players like that, so that's pretty sad. And the worst part is the fact that his contract is so large, no one is going to trade for him, so he's just going to have to watch James Harden dribble 2 or 3 years of his career away. I mean, at least he's massively paid, so that's that. Now next, KarlAnthony Towns. I'm not a Cat fan at all. I mean, I know he's talented, but I would like to see a little bit more dog in him. But you can't deny his talent. Last year, this man averaged 24 points, 12 rebounds, 52% on 40% from deep. 40% from deep as a damn big. And the year before that, he averaged 42%. So that's some unreal numbers if you really look at it. But honestly, I really don't like his situation. Just like Russell Westbrook, he's in a pretty small market with a team that historically never has been too relevant. Most of their real stars end up leaving because it's no real success there. And historically for Minnesota, for some odd reason, it's always been their bigs that end up leaving. Kevin Love, Kevin Garnett, and now he's going to be the next K that ends up leaving, and you can count on that. Andrew Wiggins, he still hasn't lived up to his hype. They have Robert Covington, Jeff Teague, a few rookies. I mean, it's just going to get ugly for them in the Western Conference. At this specific point, the West is just way too loaded. Like, the West is literally like 10 deep with teams. Like, you got teams even like the Pelicans that's still good, the Spurs that's still, so you have so many teams. They're going to be maybe 11th, 12th in the Western Conference, and you just hate to see a talented big like that not really maximizing this potential because he's losing. So it kind of just sucks for Cat. Now, next on this list, kind of the exact same thing, Devin Booker. Now, I know some people may say, nah, D Book and the Suns, they actually have a squad this year. They got DeAndre Ayton, Ricky Rubio. They just got that rookie Cam Johnson from North Carolina. They got all that. But that was the same thing y'all said last year when they had Jamal Crawford and all that. So I don't really want to hear that. They're in the Western Conference, and none of that young stuff is working. I made a video about Devin Booker earlier this year, and pretty much I was just talking about how you can't leave him on a team alone as the sole star and expect him to carry a team. To me, he's always been in that same class with Bradley Beal, CJ McCollum, like that class, but he's not Kobe Bryant. I always hated those egregious comparisons because he's just not that guy. And to me, that's not even a knock on him. I just think for his play style, he's best suited as that second star. Like Klay Thompson, Bradley Beal, CJ McCollum, they embrace their roles and they're great at it. But imagine putting CJ McCollum on a team by himself and expecting real things in the Western Conference. It's not going to happen. So I think the Suns, they can be expected to win like 20 games again this season. And unless you pair Devin Booker with a real second star, it's going to be the same exact story in Phoenix. I'm telling y'all, man, those players like Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, even James Harden to a certain extent, they're special because they can actually carry a team. Not a lot of players can do that. Russell Westbrook can't do that, so it's no knock on Devin Booker. I would honestly like to see him paired up with the next player on this list, and I'm praying that it happens, DAngelo Russell. Now, I'm kind of upset about this, but let me let y'all hear this clown and what he had to say about DAngelo the other day.
I want to see who's going to take DAngelo Russell for that money. He's a younger Nick Young. He doesn't play D. He's a me guy. He doesn't play with a high basketball IQ.
All right, bro, stop it. I don't really have a problem with Rick Bucher or anything like that, but he just compared DAngelo Russell to Nick Young. And DAngelo's my favorite player, so you know I got to defend him. Like, no disrespect. When the hell has Nick Young led a team in points and assists? When has he ever led a team that was once a laughingstock not too long ago to the playoffs? When has Nick Young even averaged over 2 assists? Like, it's Nick Young, so him even comparing him to that was completely disrespectful. And he went on to call DAngelo Russell a me guy, but the Brooklyn Nets just signed Kyrie Irving, arguably the ultimate me guy in the NBA, so I don't understand that. If you look at the Brooklyn Nets last year with that quote-unquote me guy, they have a meme with all the fun they was having on the bench. They love DAngelo Russell. They were winning. So I just don't understand. I mean, I know he had that situation with Nick Young like 3 years ago, but as of right now, he's proven that he can be a legit player on a contender. And right now he's on Golden State, and I'm hearing rumblings about him getting traded for Kevin Love and possibly going to Cleveland, a move that I would just be disgusted at because I don't want to see him paired up with Colin Sexton playing, in Cleveland. That's not a good place for him to play, in my opinion. Like right now, I just hate the fact that he's a rental, possibly playing for Golden State for maybe 4 months before being moved or something like that. Like, I just hate to see that. DAngelo Russell, he's possibly going to play on 4 teams in like 3 years. So I just hate to see that for DAngelo Russell. I want him to find a home because he's a deserving player. He's my favorite player, obviously. I put my head on his body and stuff like that at the end of the videos. But I just want to see him find a home, and I hate the fact that he hasn't. So hopefully he can pair with Devin Booker, maybe KarlAnthony Towns. It's crazy. The last 3 players that I put on this list, they're all like best friends, and they're all in bad situations, in my opinion. But if you guys like the video, make sure you guys like the video. If I missed anybody, I know you guys are going to argue about some of the players that I did put, but these are my opinions. So if you guys like the video, make sure you guys like the video. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, turn on post notifications, follow my Instagram and my Twitter. That's where you can stay active with me. Do all that great stuff, guys, and until next time, Stay tuned.